Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Discipline can feel like an overwhelming barrier, rather than just a bridge. For many, the pressure to be disciplined becomes a source of stress, making goals seem even further away. Instead of seeing discipline as a rigid structure, try building small habits that feel achievable. Each little step counts as part of your bridge, and it's okay if you move slowly as long as you're moving forward. Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you can't control what you do. The idea of mastery of thoughts can be unrealistic. Our minds are naturally filled with distractions, and the pressure to control every thought can lead to frustration. Rather than aiming for complete control, try focusing on recognizing your thoughts without judgment. Understand them and gently guide yourself toward actions that align with your values. We do today what they won't, so tomorrow we can accomplish what they can't. This mindset can push people into burnout. Not everyone can afford to do more today, and it's important to understand your own limits rather than constantly comparing yourself to others. Focus on doing your best within your limits today. Progress is personal, and your journey doesn't need to mirror anyone else's. Respect your need for rest and find a balance that works for you. The first and best victory is to conquer self. The idea of conquering oneself can feel daunting, as if we are in constant battle with who we are. This can create a negative relationship with oneself. Instead of trying to conquer yourself, aim to understand yourself better. Self-acceptance is often a more sustainable path than self-conquest. Growth comes from compassion, not warfare. Discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built. Lack of discipline inevitably leads to failure. This makes failure sound inevitable if you lack discipline, which can be disheartening. Success is not always about rigid discipline. Sometimes it's about adaptability and resilience. Discipline is important, but so is kindness to yourself. Accept that setbacks happen, and remember that success often comes from learning and adjusting rather than being perfectly disciplined. Small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. The focus on consistency every day can feel impossible, especially when life throws unexpected challenges at you. Missing a day doesn't mean you're failing. Consistency is powerful, but it's also okay to have breaks. Life isn't always predictable, and allowing yourself grace to adapt is key to maintaining long-term habits. Discipline is just choosing between what you want now and what you want most. This oversimplifies how complex our desires can be. Sometimes, what we want now is tied to deeper needs, like rest or connection, and not simply a lack of discipline. Understand the reasons behind your immediate desires. Sometimes honoring what you want now is part of a larger, healthier journey. Balance is about knowing when to push and when to rest. He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty. The idea of self-conquest can make personal growth feel like a battle, leading to unnecessary pressure to be constantly mighty. True strength often lies in self-compassion. Growth comes from nurturing yourself, not from an endless struggle to conquer every aspect of who you are. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. While it's true we have some control over our mindset, the pressure to always maintain a positive outlook can be overwhelming, especially in tough times. It's okay to acknowledge when external events affect you deeply. Strength isn't about ignoring difficulties, but about finding ways to navigate them, even when you feel vulnerable. Without self-discipline, success is impossible, period. This implies that lack of discipline is the only barrier to success, which overlooks factors like opportunity, support, and mental health that play crucial roles. Discipline is one factor among many. Success also comes from community, support, and adaptability. Don't let the idea of discipline overshadow the importance of seeking help and building connections. Discipline is the soul of an army. It makes small numbers formidable, procures success to the weak, and esteem to all. This implies that discipline alone can overcome any disadvantage, which may be unrealistic. Even with discipline, success often depends on other factors like strategy, support, and resources. Discipline is crucial, but it's not everything. Combine discipline with smart planning, teamwork, and adaptability to create a stronger foundation for success, especially in challenging situations. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. The idea that discipline is always painful can create fear and avoidance. Discipline doesn't always have to be about suffering. It can also be rewarding and fulfilling in the moment. Try to find joy in the process of discipline, not just the results. Look for small wins and moments of satisfaction as you progress, making the journey itself more enjoyable. It is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. This makes it sound like self-conquest is the hardest part, which can be intimidating. The challenges we face externally are just as real and valid as internal struggles. Acknowledge both the internal and external challenges. Conquering a goal often requires a balance of inner resilience and practical action. Don't minimize the importance of overcoming real obstacles in your environment. What lies in our power to do, lies in our power not to do. This can feel like an oversimplification, as sometimes circumstances limit our power to act or not act. Not all decisions are entirely within our control. Focus on what you genuinely have control over, and be gentle with yourself when circumstances are beyond your influence. It's about doing your best with what's available to you, rather than striving for absolute control. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. These ideals can feel unattainable, putting pressure on individuals to always be calm and in control, which isn't realistic for everyone. Aim for progress rather than perfection. Strength, mastery, and calmness are ideals to strive for, but it's okay to have moments where you fall short. Embrace your humanity and celebrate small steps toward these qualities. Discipline is the refining fire by which talent becomes ability. This suggests that without discipline, talent is wasted, which can feel discouraging to those who struggle with consistent discipline. Discipline helps shape talent, but it's okay if your path isn't always linear. Growth comes in waves, and even inconsistent efforts can contribute to developing your abilities over time. Be patient with yourself. Freedom is not procured by a full enjoyment of what is desired, but by controlling the desire. The emphasis on controlling desires can feel restrictive, as if true freedom means denying yourself joy. Desire is a natural part of being human. Rather than rigid control, try understanding your desires. Freedom can come from making conscious choices about which desires serve you best, rather than denying them entirely. Balance is key. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. This makes success sound overly simplistic. Life's complexities often mean that even simple disciplines can be hard to maintain consistently. Simple disciplines are valuable, but success also involves navigating challenges and adapting when things don't go as planned. Be flexible, and don't be discouraged if daily disciplines are interrupted. Self-discipline is the key to personal greatness. This puts immense pressure on discipline as the only path to greatness, ignoring other crucial aspects like creativity, support, and luck. Discipline is important, but greatness also comes from passion, support from others, and seizing opportunities. Cultivate discipline, but remember it's just one part of the journey to achieving your goals. The more disciplined you become, the easier life gets. This can be misleading, as increased discipline doesn't necessarily make life easier. Challenges and unexpected events can still make life difficult, regardless of how disciplined you are. Discipline can help you navigate life more effectively, but it doesn't eliminate challenges. Use discipline as a tool, not a guarantee, and stay adaptable when life throws curveballs. Your level of success is determined by your level of discipline and perseverance. This makes it seem like discipline and perseverance are the only factors in success, which can overlook the importance of luck, timing, and support systems. Discipline and perseverance are key ingredients, but success also involves adaptability and a strong support network. Be diligent, but also recognize the value of seeking help and finding the right opportunities. The ability to discipline yourself to delay gratification in the short term in order to enjoy greater rewards in the long term is the indispensable prerequisite for success. Delaying gratification can be incredibly challenging, especially when life's uncertainties make future rewards seem unclear. Not everyone has the same capacity to wait. Start with small steps in delaying gratification, and remember that it's okay to enjoy small rewards along the way. Balance between present satisfaction and future goals is essential for a sustainable approach to success. Discipline is doing what you really don't want to do so you can do what you really want to do. This makes discipline sound like a constant struggle against your own desires, which can lead to a negative mindset toward everyday tasks. Reframe discipline as an act of self-care rather than a burden. Sometimes it's about making choices that your future self will thank you for, rather than simply doing what you dislike. You can never conquer the mountain. You can only conquer yourself. This can make personal growth seem like the only worthy challenge, which may downplay the significance of external achievements and goals. Personal growth is crucial, but external challenges are meaningful too. Strive for a balance between inner development and external accomplishments, recognizing both as valuable parts of your journey. Self-discipline is that which, next to virtue, truly and essentially raises one man above another. This suggests a hierarchy based on discipline, which can create a sense of inadequacy in those who struggle with it. Everyone's strengths are different, and discipline isn't the only measure of worth. Discipline is valuable, but so are other virtues like kindness, creativity, and empathy. Focus on your unique strengths and recognize that everyone's journey is different and comparison isn't always helpful. Discipline equals freedom. The phrase can feel contradictory, as discipline might initially seem like a restriction rather than a path to freedom. The idea of freedom through discipline may not resonate with everyone. Think of discipline as creating the conditions that allow you to have more choices in the future. It's about giving yourself the ability to act freely because you've put in the work beforehand. Rule your mind, or it will rule you. This can sound overly rigid, implying that there's no room for natural emotions and thoughts to flow without constant control. Such rigidity can lead to burnout. Rather than ruling your mind, aim to guide it with kindness. It's about working with your thoughts and emotions, not against them, to cultivate a healthier, balanced mental state. Self-control is the chief element in self-respect, and self-respect is the chief element in courage. This creates the impression that self-control is the only way to earn self-respect, which can be disheartening for those who struggle with it. Self-respect comes from many aspects of who you are. Self-control is important, but self-respect also comes from embracing your imperfections and learning from them. Courage grows when you accept yourself fully, even when you fall short of your expectations. It takes tremendous discipline to control the influence, the power you have over other people's lives. The idea of needing discipline to control influence can feel intimidating, as if having power is inherently dangerous or burdensome. Use your influence thoughtfully, and remember that leadership is about empathy and understanding. Discipline in leadership is about being considerate of others' well-being, not just exerting control. Success isn't measured by money or power or social rank. Success is measured by your discipline and inner peace. This can make success feel inaccessible to those who struggle with inner peace or discipline, as if they're inherently less successful. Success is deeply personal and can be defined in many ways. Discipline and inner peace are important, but so are kindness, creativity, and relationships. Define success on your own terms, recognizing the value in all aspects of your journey. You can't always control the wind, but you can control your sails. This suggests that as long as you adjust your sails, everything will work out, which can be overly simplistic. Sometimes, no matter how well you adjust, external circumstances can still be overwhelming. Do your best to adapt to changing circumstances, but also recognize that some things are beyond your control. Allow yourself grace when the winds of life are especially strong, and seek support when needed. The only discipline that lasts is self-discipline. This can put pressure on individuals to be solely responsible for their discipline, ignoring the value of external accountability and support. Self-discipline is important, but don't underestimate the power of community, mentors, or accountability partners. It's okay to seek support to help you stay disciplined and achieve your goals. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. This can oversimplify the complexity of desires, implying that immediate desires are always inferior to long-term goals. Sometimes, what you want now is crucial for your well-being. Strive for a balance between short-term desires and long-term goals. Understanding your motivations can help you make choices that honor both your present needs and future aspirations. Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. The idea of an indomitable will can feel overwhelming, as if any wavering in willpower means a lack of strength. Everyone experiences moments of doubt. True strength is about resilience, not perfection. It's okay to have moments of weakness. What matters is your ability to keep going, even if it's at a slower pace. Strength is found in persistence, not invincibility. A disciplined mind leads to happiness, and an undisciplined mind leads to suffering. This implies that happiness is solely dependent on discipline, which can feel discouraging for those struggling with mental health challenges. Discipline can contribute to happiness, but it's not the only factor. Compassion, connection, and self-care are also crucial. Focus on nurturing your mind with kindness, not just discipline. Discipline yourself, and others won't need to. This can create pressure to always be self-reliant, implying that needing external discipline is a failure. Everyone needs guidance at times. Self-discipline is valuable, but it's also okay to rely on others for support and guidance. Learning from others and accepting help is part of growth, not a sign of weakness. He who lives without discipline dies without honor. This phrase can feel harsh, implying that a lack of discipline equates to a lack of worth or honor. It can be discouraging for those who struggle with discipline. Honor comes in many forms, not just through discipline. Focus on living with integrity, kindness, and resilience. Discipline is one way to live honorably, but it's not the only path. The successful person has the habit of doing the things failures don't like to do. They don't like doing them either necessarily, but their disliking is subordinated to the strength of their purpose. This can make success seem like a constant battle against your own dislikes, which can lead to burnout if taken too far. It's okay to dislike certain tasks, but remember to balance them with activities that bring you joy. Purpose is important, but so is maintaining your well-being and avoiding burnout. The future depends on what we do in the present. This can create pressure to always be productive, as if every action has a monumental impact on the future. It can be overwhelming to think that every moment counts so heavily. While your actions today do shape the future, it's also important to rest and recharge. Not every moment has to be maximized for productivity. Balance is key to sustainable progress. It's easy to make excuses for the lack of self-discipline, but excuses don't get you anywhere. This can come across as dismissive of the genuine challenges people face, such as mental health issues, stress, or lack of resources, which can hinder self-discipline. Recognize the obstacles you face without judgment and seek ways to address them. Self-discipline is important, but so is understanding and compassion for yourself when things are tough. Work on creating an environment that supports your growth. Most people want to avoid pain, and discipline is usually painful. The association of discipline with pain can make it feel undesirable, leading people to avoid it altogether. Discipline doesn't have to be synonymous with suffering. Reframe discipline as an investment in yourself. While it can be challenging, it doesn't need to be painful. Find ways to make discipline enjoyable or at least meaningful, focusing on the positive outcomes it can bring. To enjoy good health, to bring true happiness to one's family, to bring peace to all, one must first discipline and control one's own mind. The idea of controlling one's mind can feel unattainable, as our minds are often unpredictable and chaotic. This can make the pursuit of health and happiness seem out of reach. Instead of trying to completely control your mind, aim to develop mindfulness. Observe your thoughts without judgment and cultivate habits that promote peace and well-being. Small shifts in mindset can lead to greater happiness and health. Success is actually a short race, a sprint fueled by discipline just long enough for habit to kick in and take over. This makes success sound like a quick endeavor, which can be misleading. Developing habits takes time, and the journey to success often involves more than just a short burst of discipline. Discipline is important in the beginning, but remember that long-term success is more like a marathon than a sprint. Be patient with yourself as you build habits, and understand that consistency over time is what leads to lasting success. Self-discipline is when your conscience tells you to do something and you don't talk back. This implies that questioning oneself is inherently negative, which can discourage healthy self-reflection. Blindly following your conscience without consideration can lead to burnout. Listen to your conscience, but also take time to reflect on your needs. Self-discipline doesn't mean ignoring your own well-being. It's about making thoughtful decisions that align with your values while also taking care of yourself. Discipline is the bridge between your bodybuilding goals and bodybuilding success. This makes it sound like discipline alone is enough to achieve success, which can be disheartening for those who face physical or mental barriers. Discipline is crucial in fitness, but so is listening to your body and respecting its limits. Success in bodybuilding is about consistency, rest, nutrition, and adaptability, not just pushing through at all costs. A man without decision of character can never be said to belong to himself. He belongs to whatever can make captive of him. This implies that any lack of decisiveness means a loss of autonomy, which can be disempowering. Everyone struggles with decision-making at times. Building character is a process, and indecision is part of being human. Focus on small, confident choices each day to strengthen your sense of self, and be patient with yourself as you grow. Discipline is remembering what you want. David Campbell. This makes discipline sound overly simple, as if remembering your goals is enough to stay disciplined. In reality, motivation fluctuates, and discipline often requires more than just memory. Remind yourself of your goals, but also create structures and routines that support you when motivation wanes. Discipline involves setting up your environment and habits to make it easier to stay on track. The pain of discipline is far less than the pain of regret. Comparing discipline to regret can create fear-based motivation, which might not be sustainable. It can also make discipline seem daunting instead of empowering. Focus on the positive outcomes of discipline rather than just avoiding regret. Discipline can be a form of self-love, helping you create a future that aligns with your values and desires. Discipline isn't a chore, it's a choice. This statement can make it seem like discipline should always feel empowering, but sometimes it genuinely feels like a chore, especially when you're exhausted or overwhelmed. Acknowledge that discipline can feel like a chore at times, and that's okay. Choosing discipline is about understanding the bigger picture and being gentle with yourself during challenging moments. Success is measured by the discipline and commitment with which you pursue your goals. This implies that success is purely about discipline and commitment, overlooking other crucial elements like creativity, flexibility, and support. Discipline and commitment are important, but success also involves being adaptable, creative, and seeking help when needed. Define success in a way that includes growth, learning, and resilience.